Madame Hubbard, may I ask you a question or two? It won't take long.
Anything I can do to help.
Have you misplaced a handkerchief recently?
No, I don't think so. Why?
We found a handkerchief embroidered with the letter H, so I thought it might have been yours.
I'm sorry, but it's not. It may belong to Miss Schmidt, Princess Dragomirov's lady's maid. I believe her first name is Hildegard.
It is a possibility. Anyone could be lying, of course. I thank you, madame.
Hello. Can I do something for you?
Hello, Monsieur Hardman, I believe. You have heard of the murder?
Cyrus Hartman. Yes, and the fact that there's been a murder is all over the train.
You do not seem very concerned about it, monsieur.
It's not the first murder I've run across.
I had no idea the selling of toys was so dangerous. I did overhear you mention at dinner that this is your profession.
Toy salesman is a cover. I'm a private detective, just like you, from the U.S.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. That's the right answer. I did not expect to find another detective on this train.
I just finished a job in Istanbul when I received an email from Ratchet. He hired me to protect him.
Something you failed to do.
I'm not happy about that. He'd received some threatening letters. I was supposed to watch his back, and yeah, something I failed to do. But he seemed to think he was in more danger when he left the train.
He was traveling to Paris?
I assume so, but I'm not entirely sure.
Can anyone on this train confirm your identity?
Yeah, that McQueen kid, Ratchet's secretary.
Were you on duty last night?
You bet. I kept my door open a crack and I watched all night. No one entered that car who didn't belong there.
Did you see anything in particular?
The conductor, Michel, he was there most of the time too, except for 15 minutes or so after we left Vinkovsky. He must have answered a call from Ratchet's room, then he was absent again for a while around 1 a.m. After that, he didn't move until 5.
Monsieur Hardman, have you heard of the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? The kidnapping 3 or 4 years ago? Who hasn't? Why?
Ratchet's real name was Cassetti. I have reason to believe he was the kidnapper.
What? He killed that little girl? No, I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have taken the job.
Do you have any idea who was behind the threatening letters?
I don't know his name, but Ratchet told me he was a small man. Dark hair, with a womanish kind of voice.
Oh, thank you for your help. Is this handkerchief embroidered with an H yours?
Do I look like the kind of guy who would use a handkerchief like that?
Thank you for answering my questions, Monsieur Hardman.
Listen, Poirot. I know I fell down on the job, but if you need help, any at all, let me know. I'd like to make it right.
Wow. It has been a while since I have seen one of those.
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
Very well, madam. I'll come back later. But you will need to speak to me.
So, my friend, Have you finished your investigation?
No, but I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Okay. I stay here to watch this young lady.
Excuse me, Doctor, may I ask you a question?
Anything that can help the investigation, Mr. Poirot.
I wanted to know what your first name is, Doctor.
My name is Robert. Why?
To find out if the handkerchief embroidered with an H could have been yours.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Poirot. Cloth handkerchiefs are a playground for viruses. I would not touch one.
So, my friend, have you...
No.
Okay.
I hope your investigation is going well, Mr. Poirot.
Ah, Monsieur McQueen, may I ask you a question?
Anything I can do to help, Mr. Poirot?
This handkerchief embroidered with an H, is it yours?
No, I don't use cloth handkerchiefs.
Thank you. I won't bother you anymore.
Okay. So I talked with everyone I could talk. Now I guess I have to go to the...
I am not prepared to receive...
Very well, Matt.
go to the back. And talk to the cook.
I'm sorry, sir, but I must concentrate on my baking.
All right. So it's not locked anymore. Interesting.
Sorry to bother you, Monsieur Mori. I have a question to ask you.
Please make it quick. I have a meal to prepare.
This handkerchief embroidered with an H, is it yours?
No, I've never seen it before.
Thank you. That is all I wanted to know.
I hope your investigation won't interfere with today's menu.
Yeah, cool. What do I do now? I think if I'm just gonna like move towards the cabin, something will happen. Or maybe new people will want to talk. Well, not them, obviously.
Monsieur, if I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
You are very protective of your wife, Count Andreny.
Does that surprise you? Her vertigo can be very dangerous.
I believe there are many kinds of vertigo.
If you don't mind, I'd rather talk to a doctor, not a detective, if you'd excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Monsieur, if
My help?
you are obviously a devoted husband, Count Andreny.
My wife means the world to me. There were questions in Budapest about a Hungarian diplomat marrying an American woman.
It did not deter you.
I would have given up my position for her. I would think it is universal. Are you married, Mr. Poirot?
No, I fear marriage is not for me. But her condition, is it very grave?
She is suffering a bout of vertigo. You understand? The room spins.
I think Dr. Constantine could help your wife.
There is a doctor on this train? I did not know. Where is this doctor?
I think Dr. Constantine is in the lounge car. If not, perhaps the conductor can tell you where he is.
Very well, I will find him. Thank you very much.
Forgive me for intruding, madame. I am Hercule Poirot.
I know who you are, Mr. Poirot. I overheard you send my husband on a wild goose chase.
Your husband cares for you greatly, madame. I apologize for exploiting that fact. But the situation is urgent, and I need to ask you a few questions.
Apology accepted. I realize you must speak to everyone. This horrendous murder. It's very upsetting.
That is a beautiful music box.
Please don't touch the music box. It's a fragile family heirloom.
Your accent, is it American? Boston, perhaps?
You have a good ear, Mr. Poirot. Yes. Born and raised in what we call the Back Bay.
Are you in the diplomatic service like your husband?
No, not officially. I was still in college when I met Rudy 2 years ago. I keep myself busy handling his scheduling, travel, appointments.
Ah, what is the saying? Behind every great man there is a great woman.
That was the saying. Today one might reverse the sentiment as well, don't you think?
Of course, I stand corrected. I must admit I'm not right this time. Et voilà. A handkerchief embroidered with an H was found at the crime scene. By any chance, does your first name begin with an H?
No, my first name is Elena, with an E.
Can you tell me what you did last night?
Well, my husband and I went to dinner. Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't, because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill, and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from sleeping?
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see. She may be telling the truth, but I cannot be certain. Come now, Countess. You are not telling me the truth.
Why do you say that?
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to snow, so there was no shaking of the train. But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from sleeping.
I don't know, you're confusing me. My vertigo.
Madame, a man died last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my husband.
That was unkind, I know, but my strategy worked. I can now inspect this room in peace. These must be the sleeping pills that Countess Andreni took last night.
So there's a pigeon, whatever that is, and a lemon.
It's closed.
Well, I'm gonna come back to it, I guess.
There seems to be something missing here.
I'm gonna come back to it. Or maybe...
There seems to be something missing here.
Okay.
It's closed.
Oh. Why is that exactly? Was I supposed to guess? Oh, it's right there. It's a rose, flower, and pigeon. Okay.
for my beautiful young ladies, Helena and Sonia. Helena with an H. It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
Helena with an H.
An engraving written in, I believe, Russian Cyrillic. It looks like a first name.
Natalia.
Poirot! Have you no shame?
Monsieur, I am afraid shame is not a very helpful emotion for a detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder, Count Andreni.
My wife is ill.
My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your compartment.
You will regret this, Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel, are you? Countess, I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music box.
How dare you!
The message in the medallion was addressed to you and Sonia. Sonia Armstrong, your older sister, the mother of Daisy, the murdered child.
I am a Hungarian diplomat. You have no official standing here. You have no right to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this gentleman says. I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchet's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had been there.
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
I give you my word of honor that last night, Helena never left her compartment. My wife is telling you the truth, Poirot.
I hope so. I'll let you rest. The matter of the H on the handkerchief still needs clearing up. But first I should check the inscription on the back of the medallion.
It said Natalia. Knowledge of Russian. Really? Poirot has knowledge of Russian. Does an average player has a knowledge of Russian? I don't think so. But okay, they made it fairly easy, I guess. And Natalia is not the hardest name, so...
No,
What?
not good.
Oh, excuse me, it's the...
Natalia. Would it be Natalia Dragomirov? She is the only Russian passenger on the train. In addition, her first name begins with an H in Cyrillic. That was easy.
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry, madame, but a man has been murdered. I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Come in, please.
Please forgive my intrusion, madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
Then ask. I'll answer if it pleases me.
We have not been properly introduced, yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her. Et voilà. I will first ask you about last night. Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffered from back pain, a consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see. The first initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
This handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was found in Monsieur Ratchet's room. Can you explain to me why Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
Possibly to protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come to be lying by a murdered man's body? My reply to that is that I have no idea.
That is not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give you.
I must tell you, Princess Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel Armstrong well, then?
I knew him slightly, but his wife, Sonia Armstrong, was my goddaughter. I was on terms of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius, one of the greatest tragic actresses in the world. I was not only an admirer of her art, I was a personal friend.
Very well. But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Helena Andreni is the sister of Sonia Armstrong, the late mother of Daisy Armstrong, kidnapped and killed by the man who was murdered on this train, Ratchet.
Indeed. Was it he? Then justice has at last been served.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close to the Armstrong family, and the presumed assassin of Daisy Armstrong was killed while you were on board the same train. Second coincidence. Your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence. One of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot, call it fate. If you report to the police your coincidences, they will laugh. A woman of my age and frailty has violently murdered a man? With how many potential witnesses who saw me doddering along the corridor in the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth?
You are right, Princess. You could not work alone, which means you have one or more accomplices. And it is only a matter of time before I find out who they are.
I would appreciate it if you would remove yourself from my room and take your fantasies with you.
Привет! Привет!